Hello everyone, welcome back to this month's Let's Mod series. Apologies that it's a little late, but hopefully it'll be worth it. My name's Kearon with Explorminate, and let's see if you guys can figure out which mod I'm showing off. Maybe more importantly, what movie this might be from, movie, book. What's this look like? That's right, it looks like Lord of the Rings. This is an awesome mod, guys. This is the Third Age. It's a total conversion mod for Medieval 2 Total War. I have had tons of fun with it. Right now, we have two armies. We have the Rohirrim, and we have... Oh, the command of the castle. We better be in command of the castle. And then High Elves fighting different... orc factions from Isengard. So, kind of fun. Looks like they're starting to siege me. Unfortunately, it's maybe not as big as the movies, but this is fun, I promise. So, initially when I was trying to do the background work for this, I was like, oh, I'm going to start recording a Let's Play. But I was like, nah, I think I'm just going to play another game of my own. So, oh, for whatever reason, it looks like the orcs have spawned back here. Well, that is funny. Well, yeah, the elves are definitely dead. That is for sure. Let's get up here. So, as you can see, I mean, this, if you're familiar with the Lord of the Rings movies, the character models look just like it. They're fabulous. Let's zoom in. Oh, only complaint is the camera doesn't work the best. Oh no, they're battering down the gates. So here we can see the elves are trying to hold their own against some berserkers and just some regular Uruk-hai, not doing so well. Not doing so well at all. I'm just going to let this play itself out. And my apologies that this is late. I usually, well, the plan is to have these at the end of every month. But I had to redo these because I ran into some copyright issues. The modders have included a lot of stuff from the Lord of the Rings movies, the music being some of that, which I think is what flagged the copyright violation, unfortunately. So that's why we're a little late with this month. Again, my apologies. But hopefully this will be well worth your time. Again, this is called the Third Age. I think I'm running version... Ooh, they just broke through. That's great. I'm running version 3.2. And while I'm only kind of showing off the base conversion mod, there are additional ones you can look at if you Google it. Their names elude me at this moment. But you can go even beyond this. What we have here, and what I will show here in a minute, I just wanted to start off with something a little bit more intriguing, hopefully. Like a battle as opposed to menus. You can play a lot of the major factions within the Lord of the Rings universe. Dwarves, elves, orcs, goblins, Gondor, I forget what they're called, the men from the south that have like the Mumakai and whatnot. So you can play as all of them. There's a campaign, Total War style, traditional campaign. They do have some custom historical battles. The ones I've messed around with aren't the best per se, but so there's a lot here. But honestly, I've just had the most fun. This camera, I apologize for that. It's going to be a frequent occurrence. I've just had the most fun just having battles. It's so fun. I mean, Total War is already just an amazing game. Just for the battles, that's why I play it. I don't enjoy maybe other aspects of it as much, but it's so fun to just relive and recreate some of these battles from Lord of the Rings. Only thing I haven't really found a way to get around, and I think it's just the way it is going to be. Oh, here we got the Uruk-hai trying to break through the front gate. We got some, what do we got? Elven swordsmen. Let's send them in there. We're going to do a little bit. Come on, swordsman, get in there. Go support. Can't just let the orcs push through. It's hard to get big battles, as you kind of notice. I didn't really have 10,000 Uruk-hai on the screen because you're limited to about 20 guys per army, and while you can stack, what is it, like 8 or 10 essentially players can get engaged, you are a little limited. But just look at this. I don't know, I'm geeking out here. This is amazing. This is just awesome. Don't really know if we're going to hold the line here. Might do better against the pikemen. Oh, but it's just so fun. So we're going to do Minas Tirith. We're going to do some battles at Moria. It's going to be fun. I don't think I'm going to mess with the campaign because I don't think I'm going to have a lot to offer there. I don't, as I mentioned, I don't really get into the Total War campaigns. But if you do, or you think Lord of the Rings themed campaign material would push you over the edge, from what I have played, there's nothing subpar about it. I mean, as you can tell with this mod already, hopefully. Yeah, so we'll leave it at that. We're not actually going to finish this battle. Well, maybe I should. Yeah, I'm not going to finish it. We got to show off the menus and whatnot. We'll go for a second here. We'll see what happens. Kind of feel like the Uruk-hai are going to break the line. Okay, and that camera is going to jack up a lot when I try to get in closer to show things off. So I apologize. Please bear with me with that. I think that's just inherent with the way a lot of these fortresses and whatnot are constructed. The camera has a hard time dealing with them, so please bear with me. But I mean, like I said, I literally played this when I originally recorded the videos the better part of a Saturday before I ever started recording anything, because it was just so fun. There's a horn. Wonder what that is. I think someone's trying to rally the troops from fleeing. So they're doing okay here. What about... Oh, yeah, this is not so good over here. We just have lots of dead elves. Sad. These poor fellows are trying to hold the line.
Our men have captured the enemy general.
Oh, we've captured? Why don't we kill him?
So he can see us defeat the rest of his army.
I feel like we should kill him, not capture him. Alright, well, we'll leave it to that. We'll launch into the menu. But yeah, so welcome to this month's Let's Mod series, and hopefully you enjoyed it. It should be a fun ride. Alright guys, so hopefully that was more interesting than just me beginning with the menu. So this is the home screen for the Third Age. As you see, there's a beautiful background here. Mount Doom erupting in the background, and then the Eye of Sauron top his tower. This is not unique. All throughout the game, every loading screen is going to have like little, I guess, snapshots from the movies. Sometimes it looks a lot like art that they pulled from different places, coupled with quotes from the books and whatnot. So in Total War fashion, they have the loading screens with the theme loading screens and whatnot, but it's completely been Lord of the Rings. I don't know if that's a word. It is now. So let's go through, I guess, some of the options, because there's really a lot to this mod. First off, we have the Third Age campaign, and I think, as I mentioned, I'm not going to showcase the campaign. I tried them, and they kind of just, there wasn't a lot going on at first, so I figured that wouldn't be quite as interesting. But I will I'll talk about it for a moment here. I played a little bit as the dwarves and then as Gondor. Both times I felt like I was just kind of a long ways from anyone, and I wanted to get into fighting. That's what I love about the Total War games, is the massive scaled battles. But I guess, so here's the campaign. Anyone who's familiar with the Total War campaign, this should look pretty familiar. You can play as Gondor, Rohan, the Men of Dale, the dwarves, the free people of Eredor, the High Elves, or the Sylvan Elves. Or if you want to play on with the forces of darkness, you got Mordor, Isengard, Orcs of the Misty Mountains, Orcs of Gundabad, Harad, and Ruin, I think. Each of these guys play differently, have different units. You've got your Uruk-hai for Isengard, you got trolls for some of the Orc factions, The dwarves don't have, oh, there they are. Dwarves don't have cavalry, but they got really just tough, stout units. Rohan obviously doesn't have as great of infantry. And I think part of my reason for not enjoying this as much is I have a hard time with a lot of the Total War campaigns. It's really weird. Some of them I love, and other ones I just don't like, even though I feel like they're the same thing. So if you enjoy Total War campaigns a lot and you're crazy about Lord of the Rings like me, they should be heaven for you, I think. I do recommend putting it on a high difficulty, and I think the game does too when you're beginning. I'm not sure why that is, but I think for it to actually be fun, or maybe even remotely challenging, you need to do that. So that's the Third Age campaign. It's your typical Total War campaign. They do have something cool called the Fellowship campaign, which, again, I haven't played a ton of, but what I have, you start out as the hobbits in the Shire, and what I assume you go through the events of the books, right? What you see in the movies, reading the books. And you're going to, oh wow, I forget what it's called. Where do they meet up with Aragorn? Anyways, that town right outside the Shire. So I assume you kind of follow the events there. This you do have to play on the highest difficulty, very hard, yeah. If you don't, it gives you an in-game like menu error and just pops you back to the menu. Says you gotta play it on very hard for this to be. Like, I don't know. You would have to literally mod the mod if you wanted to play it on something besides very hard. And I think that's just to, again, make it a challenge, since perhaps the AI had a hard time grasping some of the changes they made to the units. And they also have historical battles. I tried these. I tried the Battle of the Five Armies. It wasn't that great. The armies are pretty small, and there was a really big area, and I was like, this is kind of lame. That goes back to, I think, just one of the shortfalls. Not necessarily of the mod. It kind of is, but it's what they're building on, right? In that intro video, you saw 3 basically leaders versus 2 leaders, okay? Most you can have is 20 units per leader, and I think you can have the max of, 8 or 10 leaders, and at that, it kind of starts taxing my computer, which is funny, because I can run most any game I want, if I'm just playing it on my own, not streaming it or anything, on whatever settings I want when it comes to strategy games especially. So that is kind of sad that it is taxing, but more so that you can't really have 200,000 orcs sieging Minas Tirith, or the 10,000 Rakai horde attacking Helm's Deep, that kind of thing. You kind of can get there, you kind of can't. That's just what it is. Most of what I spend my time with is the custom battles, which are great. You could select any of those factions that I just showed off in the Third Age campaign. You can pick your units. They have tons of different areas, and I want to show off a couple of them that I think are kind of cooler. Besides just your open fields of Rohan, or the plains of Mordor, things like that. And those are a lot of fun. I've literally spent just hours playing those instead of starting this series, and then I had to redo this series. So that's basically what you're getting with this mod. So I should probably also mention, just kind of disclaimer, if you see this, hopefully you're excited. If you haven't seen this, I know this is an older mod, but if you go out to buy Medieval 2, make sure you buy the DLC. I believe it's called Kingdoms. It's the only DLC for Medieval 2 Total War. You have to have both of those for Third Age to run, I believe. And then also there are further, I don't know if they're necessarily iterations on this particular mod, adding more factions and whatnot. So there's 2 or 3 major ones I saw. I contemplated downloading those, but I thought I'd just kind of introduce you guys to this base mod. Obviously, people have taken it different directions. And if you want to pursue those, great. If not, what is here is enough to have fun with. And it definitely would be worth the $5 you'd spend on a Steam sale, I think. Especially if you're a big fan of Lord of the Rings. So, because I've had nothing but fun with it myself. Yeah. So I think with that being said, that's basically it for this first video. Just wanted to introduce, give you a little tease of what there is, and the rest of these will have some fun battles, I hope. So stick with me. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this Let's Mod series. And again, I apologize for some of the difficulties getting it up to YouTube. That's later than normal. But with that, let's jump into our first big battle at the next episode. And thanks for watching.